And hello and welcome, guys, to this new blog, this new video blog that I'm starting to record. So, this is like a brand new section that I have been planning for some time to start releasing this series of blogging videos or blog videos in which I basically share with you some thoughts and my opinion on a couple of topics and things that I see regarding the software industry, because software is what we like doing, what we enjoy doing. So, here, your host. I'm Lucas, a seasoned backend engineer with more than 6 years of experience. Um, so this video, it's going to be about a specific topic in the software industry, in the backend industry. I will say that I have been seeing a few articles and I have been seeing like an increasing trend to um, to talk about this topic, right? Um, and this is to use Postgres as Postgres for everything, using Postgres for everything. So recently, I've been um, I have I have come across a bunch of articles, all of them proposing the very same solution, which is using Postgres for everything. Why you should use Postgres as the only tool in your software project that you're building? Why you should use Postgres as an all-in-one tool? So a couple of articles that I've been reading that suggest that Postgres can pretty much replace a lot of tooling, a lot of tools that we usually use otherwise. So in this line, I've been digging into a few of these articles, and some of them propose things that actually make sense, right? So you can use Postgres. So here are a few examples. Use Postgres as your Redis replacement, as your cage, uh, by using unlogged tables, which is like a feature that Postgres offers out of the box. Use Postgres as a message broker using the skip locked queries, which is again like another feature provided by Postgres. Use Postgres to run cron jobs or cron tasks using the pg underscore cron, I think it's called. It's like a Postgres extension for setting up cron tasks. Um, Use Postgres as an analytics database or as a data warehouse database using the pg underscore analytics extension, and so on and so forth. And one of the of these one of these ideas was that something, it was a bit like funny. Use Postgres as a document database by using the JSONB column data type. So there are a few. All these articles talk about the same idea, right? How you can use Postgres and leverage Postgres as the only one tool that your team needs, right? So you don't need Redis, you can use Postgres. You don't need RabbitMQ or Kafka or any other message broker system. You can also use Postgres. And all of these articles go on about the same. So here are my thoughts. So I do believe that Postgres is a very interesting database. Actually, I think that is the most powerful database engine these days. So it has a bunch of different interesting features provided out of the box that you can leverage in your projects, right? And some of them might be actually very interesting to use, right? And actually, some of these features can only be are only present in Postgres, right? And not in other databases. which makes Postgres more and more interesting. So I do believe that Postgres is very powerful, very useful, actually very interesting. The set of tools that it provides. Furthermore, there is a bunch of plugins that can be added to Postgres to augment its features and functionalities. Uh, so some of these ideas are actually interesting, right? And might not be bad ideas at all. So I mean, if you plan to to start using a message broker system because you wanna implement event-driven architecture or like asynchronous communication patterns in your applications, or if you want to implement a caging layer in your backend services or whatever reason you want to do caging, I think it could be a good idea to use some of these Postgres capabilities to run proofs of concept, right? And that's one thing to bear in mind. You can run proofs of concept, and maybe you can use some of these features if you're still like testing out an idea and you want to see how well it does in a production environment, right? So you can, and you don't want to like set up a whole bunch of like components and like set up a Redis instance in production and pay for it, and all this process can be actually very cumbersome and time consuming and resource consuming, and you still are like in very early stages on your feature or idea or migration or thing that you want to change. I think in those early stages you can actually use Postgres, right? So you can give it a try, right? So Postgres, using Postgres as a cage can actually be um, interesting if you are testing out an idea, running a proof of concept, or you're like in a very early stage on your small change on your project, or like running like a small or highly scoped project or feature improvements. You can use Postgres for that, right? Because you wanna test how things go, right? How it works. You need more data. I think in those stages it's actually more important that you get immediate feedback on your ideas, your patterns that you're applying, your architectural changes in your application, than the technology that you use, right? So, and that is why I think you can actually use Postgres for those early stages. But once you decide to move on and implement a real functional uh, application or feature or architectural change using a real cage, well, you're gonna need Redis or memcached or any other tool that actually was intended to be used as a cage, not Postgres. And actually, I have well, this week actually I bumped into a very interesting article, which was a benchmark um, comparing Redis and Postgres as caching technology, and actually Redis outperformed Postgres by more than 80%, which is crazy. Um, so in those, once you have tested out your idea, you are sure that this architectural change is going to be beneficial for you, your project, and your company or whatever your business, whatever you're running. And you decide to move on with a cage, or for example, you decide to move on with a message broker. So, or you decide to move on with a data warehouse, analytics database, or a document-oriented database. You're gonna need a technology that actually offers that, right? That its main focus, its main strength, I would say, it's the feature that you plan to implement, right? So in this case, for Postgres, sorry, for a cage layer, for a caching tool or technology, you're gonna need Redis or memcached or anything that offers a that its main product is a cage, right? Um, for a message broker, you're gonna need RabbitMQ, Kafka, AWS, SQS, whatever. You're gonna need a message broker technology. For a document database, you're gonna need MongoDB or any other document-oriented database, right? You're gonna need to use a technology, right? You're gonna need to use a tool, which main feature is the thing that you were using Postgres for, and that is because Postgres is a relational database, and we don't have to forget about that. Postgres is a relational database, so its main strength is, well, are all these features that make up a relational database, right? So storage, storing data, storing and retrieving, we could say, data, um, uh, integration checks, and data integrity checks, we could say, data consistency checks, and well, all the bunch of features that are provided in a relational database. All of those are the strengths of Postgres. So Postgres, there's no way that Postgres can actually be better than Redis, because Redis was designed from the very beginning to be as a cage. Postgres wasn't. So this is my opinion, and these are my thoughts, and this is actually kind of like a critic on these sort of articles that propose, that suggest that we should use Postgres for everything, right? So it can be useful at the very beginning if you are already using Postgres in your company, right? In your project, if you're already using Postgres, well, then it can be actually much more cost effective, right? It can be much cheaper to use something that we are already using to run some proof of concept, some testing, or like in early stages of development for any features or things that you wanna test out and see how it works in a productive environment. And then you're gonna have to switch over to a specific technology that focus on those solutions that you need, right? So these are my thoughts, guys. I hope this is useful for you, and I will see you in the next videos with more content, more interesting content. So if you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you all. Have a nice coding week.